Why?
The first question today actually comes from 3.5 from the video that you watched yesterday. And actually it's the second question, I'm sorry, I misspoke. You should already know how to do number one from yesterday because we did some practice on this. Key thing is make sure that you set up your problem the correct way. So I'm going to hopefully everybody put the -6 and 46/100 inside the box, and then we try to figure out how many 4s go into that number. Okay? Now the first thing you can do, if you got this one wrong, you can write it right in on your test, write with your pen. If your answer's not negative, your answer's incorrect. So right away you can use a pen to make corrections, make sure that you have a negative answer. If it's not negative, we got that part wrong. Why is the answer negative? Who can tell me? Yeah.
Because the two numbers are different.
Yeah. When we divide, if the two numbers are different, here's a negative number, here's a positive. When the signs are different, the answer is always negative. Okay? That works for multiplication and for division. All right. Now that I know that this answer has to be negative, I actually get rid of this piece right here. Whoop, here we go. So now I'm going to go through. And I'm going to say, how many groups of 4 will go into 6 and 46/100? How many groups of 4 will go in? And so I look at that. Will 2 groups of 4 go in? Well, what is 2 groups of 4?
8.
So 8's too big for this number, so it's only going to be 1 group of 4. So I know that it's for sure 1 whole number will go in there. Is that correct? And 1 times 4 is 4. Our next step is to subtract. And I get a 2 here. Okay? When you do your subtraction, this difference right here must be less than the number you divided by. So we're good to go. Okay? Now I'm going to include everything. Typically in this method you wouldn't put in a decimal, but I'm going to put it in and try and do a combination of partial quotients and the traditional method at one time. So I'm going to include 4, 6 here. Okay? And now I can't get a whole, one more whole to get into this 2.46. So now I know that I need to have a 10th that needs to go in. If it was 1 whole, this number would be 4 or greater, and it's less than 4. So let's estimate about what could this 10th be. What's half of 4? 2, right? So could we have 5/10 here? Would that be a good estimate?
Yeah.
Is everybody with me? 5/10 would be a good estimate. Well, let's just try one more, just in case. What about 6/10?
Yes.
And I want you to think about that real quickly. Could 6/10 go into this 2.4? What is 6/10 times 4? It equals 24. The digits are 24. But where's that decimal go?
2.4.
2.4. Is that a good guess to go in there? Yes?
Yes.
So I'm going to put my 6/10 in here. And I'm going to put 2.4 down here. And subtract. And look at that. I have 6 left over. Okay? And this is actually 0.06. So now we have to go down really, really low to get to this next number. If we need to get to 6/10, can that happen?
Yes.
Or, I'm sorry, 6/100ths. So we're going to try and figure out how many hundredths. Well, what would 1/100th give you?
0.04.
0.04, 4/100ths, right? Is that pretty close to 600ths?
Yes.
If we did 200ths, what would we get down here? 8, right? And that's too high. So we're going to actually put in just 1/100th. I'm going to go down here. Oh, starting to get a little weird on me. And I'll put in, I'm going to subtract my 0.04, and I'm left over with 0.02. Now I could add a 0 here, and that will help me out a little bit. It's going to help me at least to put a number into this spot.
Right.
Now, we just said that 1/100th is 0.4. How would we get to 2/100ths? Could we do one more 100th to get to that? That doesn't work.
0.005.
So let's try 5. Because 5 times 4 is what? 20. And this is actually 5/1000ths times 4, and it does equal 0.02. And we're done. So my answer for this one is a -1 and 615,000. How many kids got that one right? How many kids got that one right? Raise your hand nice and high. Okay, wonderful. Now I'm going to do a little bit of work on the next one. I'll get to questions when we're done. After we get done, I'll turn off the recorder. I don't want this video to be too long for you tonight, but it's something you can go back and look at. Okay? This second problem is one that I have a hard enough time figuring out how many 2's go into 6, let alone how many 0.25's go into 6. So one thing that we can do, and this is what you saw last night, is we can change our division problem by thinking of this as an actual fraction. If I multiply the bottom number by 100, now I'm going to actually be dividing by 25, a negative 25. Everybody see that? I moved the decimal place 1, 2 spots over. I multiply the bottom number by 100. What do I have to do to the top to make that equivalent or equal to? Yeah. Yeah, I have to multiply the top number by 100. What's 6 times 100?
600.
600. Now, kids, can we all do this problem right here?
Yes.
How many 25s go into 600?
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to actually think about dollars and quarters here. And again, my signs are different, so my answer has to be negative. Can I have 100 of these 25s go into 600? Could I have 1/100 go in there?
Yes.
You can? What's 1/100 times 25? 2,500. So we can't have anything in the hundreds place. Can I have something here?
Yes.
Yeah, a 10 in the 10th place.
Please.
How many 25s will go into 600? Well, let's estimate real quickly. Approximately. Okay? How many quarters will go into 100? 4, right? Well, we have 6 of them. So if we do 4 times 6, when we get 24, so we know we're going to get at least 20 in here. What's 20 times 25? 50, well, it's going to be 50. It's actually 500. Okay? So I'm going to take 500 away, and I have 100 left over. How many quarters will go into 100? 4. I'm good to go. So the answer is, if you take 6, whoops, sorry, I don't know why that did that. You take 6 and divide it by negative 0.25. And you can try this on your calculator when you're done. The answer is negative 24. But we actually changed this problem to 600 divided by negative 25. And we got our answer of negative 24. Okay? And so we moved that decimal point over. Or look at that, 6. Okay? So that video will be available for you tonight if you need to go back and look at. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to see how many kids got 2 out of 2 on this. And we're going to have our 2 out of 2 people assist the kids that either got 1 or 0. And that will be our practice for today on division.